Welcome, my brothers and sisters, my people from the Black Mecca. You are in tune with another episode of Mental Telepathy's Arena, and I am your host and lyrical genius, Black Titanium. Yeah. And today's show is primarily for the sake of the youth. Every subject matter that we speak about here is primarily for the sake of our youth. So if you are hiding these videos from your children, you are doing them a grave injustice. You are helping the white man break them down, suppress their spirits. The spirits to be who they are supposed to be. Trust me, I'm going to let you figure that one out. But until then, right now, we're going to delve off into the show with a topic, a subject matter that brings those who are in the darkness into the light. Because when you're a vessel of God, that's your only duty, is to propagate life to those who don't know about what's going on. So we got to bring things to the light here. So what I want to talk about today is the people's hostage situation. The hostage situation that you don't know that you are currently in. Oh no, I'm not talking about you being trapped off in America by the white man. Oh, and even though that's the truth. Nah, I'm talking about a totally different type of hostage situation that a lot of people don't understand that they are in. All of these worldly events that you have been seeing, let me give you a little education. The coronavirus situation that you are going to be hit by, that you have been hit by, all of this is part of the hostage situation. It started off with George Bush, okay? When he came into office, not his father, but the son, okay? They came up with an idea. Then it's this amazing idea from the minds of the criminally insane, that is. See, because a lot of you niggas think that y'all gangsters in the streets. Nah, we talking about real gangsters. Okay? Real stick-up kids. And let me tell you about how these niggas operate. George Bush, 2008 or whenever he came into office before Obama. I'm talking about the Bush before Obama. Okay? When he came into office, or before Clinton, I can't remember. I'm not really into politics like that, but yeah, that Bush, the one that invaded Iraq for nothing. When he came into office, he came up with an amazing idea of how to stick up national treasury by holding the American people hostage. Oh yeah. What he did, he came up with this idea. See, when they hold the people hostage, they never tell you that you are in a hostage situation. What they do, they go to the National Treasury and they tell them, listen, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna crash the stock market. And a bunch of other stuff is going to happen, where catastrophes are going to happen, where the people are going to die if you don't give us $50 billion. George Bush started it off. Okay? So the National Treasury, they had to pay these niggas. When the 2008 catastrophe came up, Bush is the one who got them niggas the bailout, AIG, and all them niggas. He got all them niggas the bailout money because that was the stick up to rob National Treasury. These niggas, because basically they got a money printing machine, but they could print all the money they want to. All these, what you got to understand is that money is white people's God. And they will do absolutely anything for the dollar bill. And everybody in their way, everybody who exists is expendable to them. Everybody is expendable to them. This is what you don't understand. So basically, make a long story short, Bush came in there and said, listen, man, a bunch of shit is going to happen to these people, man. We need $50 billion, man. So, okay, they paid him off. Make a long story short, I'm not going to go deep into depth about it. But a lot of the American people, so-called American people, didn't even know that they was hostages. And when everybody else seen this situation, they followed suit. Obama did it. And now your boy Trump is Trump ain't doing it. Now let me set the record straight. Trump got so much money that he don't even have to participate in it. Okay? But what's happening, the people around him is using this nigga as a gopher. Listen, man. Because basically they don't trust the nigga anyway. He got a loose tongue. The nigga, he's a loose cannon, and this nigga, they can't give him no secrets, no classified secrets, and none of this other shit. They do not trust this nigga, man. And they are keeping all type of information away from him. Because they seen through history of how his behavior goes. It's very erratic. So they have to treat him like a damn puppet. They know he's over 70 years old. His mind is most likely going. But it's also he has a double, two Trumps. What a lot of people don't know. Anytime they have a president, the president always has a double. Okay, just in case they know somebody trying to kill him or whatever. So in this situation, they basically told him, listen, man, a lot of people gonna die off this coronavirus because as each president comes and tries the same stick up, you got to get more creative about it because now National Treasury is on to their game. And they saying, nah, man, you can't, we are not giving you nothing. Especially somebody like Trump. They don't want to get that fool nothing. So they got to come up with something major to get, as you just seen on TV, they said Trump just signed a bill releasing $50 billion. That was the hostage money, and you niggas was in the game and didn't even know it. But the game goes much deeper than that. The game is going to get much deeper than that. Because what they have started, what they thought they was in control of, is God's plan. Sometimes he'll use evil people to carry out what he wants to be carried out. Because God's intellect runs on 70 million different levels. We couldn't even begin to grasp what that is. So this situation that you're in, this coronavirus, they using this as a hostage situation. And they are going to kill millions just to get their point across, man. because you are dealing with very evil people. What you got to understand about white people, man, they are very pathological. And when people think about pathological, they think that you're talking about a pathological liar. People can be in pathological in all type of stuff. You can be pathological in eating and all type of stuff. But white people are pathological to the on the way for the sake of their game of white supremacy. Because in the game of white supremacy, they are not allowed to have a conscience and they are not allowed to have a soul. You'll notice that most white people don't have a soul. They don't have a conscience. Because they actually, when they try to get at a person or people or government, they make sure that they deprive them of the rights to live. This is why you see the government will bring about sanctions on another country, like a smaller country like Iraq and say, or Iran, and they say, listen, you are being sanctioned. You can't get no financial backing, and so that way they starve the people, so the people could turn against the leader. This is how they destabilize the leader. You have to understand how they work. Okay? So they are not allowed to have a conscience. They can kill anybody. And they won't have no conscience. If it's for the sake of white supremacy, they will kill anybody. They will actually deprive you of your rights to live and laugh about it. They could kill 1 million people today and won't lose no sleep tonight. Guaranteed. This is the nature of white people. God said in the Bible, I always go to the Bible because Allah tells us in the 6 articles of faith, believe in all of my books. And only the intelligent ones will believe in all of his books. So I can go to any book, the Torah, the Bible, or the Quran, and explain things. And this is what you're supposed to do. Because those who refuse to do it is disrespecting the laws of God. With that being said, God said in the Bible they call white people Edomites. He said, I hated the Edomites, so I drove them into the deepest recesses of the Caucasus Mountains to live as savages for years. Yeah, this is why they call themselves Caucasians. Because they was drove into the deepest recesses of the Caucasus Mountains, and this is where it's going to end for them. If you notice, they got big hidden tunnels in the mountains and everything now, stacked with water, food, and everything, because they know that's where it's going to end for them. This is where they're going to try to hide when God's wrath comes, thinking that they're going to escape death. Thinking that they are going to cheat death. That's when you know that people are really arrogant. When they think money immortalizes them. Real talk. But nevertheless, back to the essence of the conversation. Okay? This is what they do when they stick up the national treasury. They tell them, listen, we're gonna crash the market and everything. If you notice, when they got that $50 billion, they came on TV and said, you know what? The market don't look as bad as we thought it looked. Yeah. See, but one thing about them, they so pathological that they don't mind. They will follow through on their threats. They will drive the whole country right over the cliff. Right over the cliff. If they don't get that money. These niggas are so greedy, it's beyond your wildest imagination. And a lot of these niggas is 70, 80 years old, 1 foot out the door. And they still thinking that they gonna live and cheat death. See, because their philosophy is, They don't only think about their generation. They think about their next generations. They want to know that when they die, this is how sick their mind is. That their children and their children's children and those children's children can live off that money for years to come. Okay? This is why they run around the world killing up people trying to stay in power. Because once this dollar bill falls, man, like I said, you're going to see the horns manifesting out of their heads. You're going to see them horns manifesting out of their heads. I guarantee you, man. Why you think back in the day they was able to hang us from trees and burn black women and hang them on and snatch the children out of their wombs and all of that? Because they was dirt bag ass white people with no money. This is how evil they are when they ain't got no money. I done lived amongst a bunch of them niggas, them dirt bag ass niggas out in the Pacific Northwest. Them niggas are irritating to live around. Real talk. Trust me what I'm telling you, man. Listen, man, from all my years of experience with them and all my years of research, I have come to one conclusion about them. One conclusion, that there's nothing human about white people. From 8 to 80, blind, crippled, and crazy. You can call it racism. You can call it whatever you want, but I can't be racist because I don't own anything. I can't stop nobody from getting no jobs. I can't control nobody's life or nothing else. So you cannot be racist if you don't control institutions, and you can't stop people from getting jobs, and you can't do this and you can't do that. So you can't be racist, man. I'm telling you what's real. There is all my research and my experience with them and all of the stuff that I done watched them do to my people, all the stuff that I done seen them do to Africa, I've come to the conclusion that there's nothing human about white people. They will stand up and pose as humanitarians, and people get fooled and drop their guard because they got pearly whites and blonde hair. Man, there's nothing human about them. And I won't be surprised that when their reign comes to an end, and that will be soon, when their reign comes to an end, I won't be surprised if they pull all the skin off their bodies and they turn out to be the aliens that niggas talk about. Real talk. Because they have absolutely no conscience whatsoever. And this is what you have to understand. You have to absolutely understand the game of white supremacy, man. Because in these next few days and these next few weeks, as this epidemic unfolds, as this coronavirus epidemic unfolds, and you start seeing people dying by the droves, you are going to see white supremacy at its best. Because you think they're going to pick you over white patients to take care of you first? Nah. This is why they got FEMA concentration camps set up, and they got all of those coffins by those FEMA concentration camps. This is what you got to understand, man. These are very evil people, man. They got, like I said, they got the Midas touch, and everything they touch turns into doodle. And what I mean by that, I'm metaphorically speaking, everybody that they encounter, they corrupt. Everybody, if they can't corrupt them, if you ain't bowing down to their democracy, they will kill you. From a country to a person. This is what you have to understand. You have to absolutely understand the game of white supremacy, man. Because these people, they run around, they make the world a very evil place, man. Look how they got our people acting. You think a lot of these niggas acting like they act because they was born like that? Nah. That's 400 years of conditioning of people who are psychologically traumatized from being beaten, burned, maimed, and even today in sports, a platform in sports and music, those are platforms that they use to publicly lynch black people. Now that they can't, call people from all over the world, where back in the days they used to call, they used to send people notes, say, listen, we're gonna lynch this nigger today, and they used to come from all, far away lands just to see the lynching, and they still get thrills off of that. So this is why they use sports and entertainment as platforms to publicly lynch black men, and they use TV as a platform to publicly lynch us. But they actually lynching us symbolically. You can't see the white people trolling you while they watching TV, but they gather around the TV and they watch with excitement. Trust me, it still gives them a thrill. Whenever they see a black man on TV getting sentenced to 50 years, or a little black boy getting sentenced to 40 years or whatever, it gives them a thrill, because to them that's a public lynching. This is why they put it on TV. Real talk. And you have to understand that there's nothing human about them. And a lot of people are about to see that in the wake of this coronavirus epidemic. This is why they haven't tested anybody yet, because they don't care. And this was all part of their plans. If you read the stone tablets, it was written a long time ago. This is part of their plan, man, to reduce the population by billions. And you think it's just black people? Nah, nigga, by billions. The earth only has 7.5 billion people. And they talking about reducing it by 6.5 billion people, to where it's only 500 million to a billion people left. This is their plans. I can't make this up. Trust me, it's written down. They already got it. The Rockefellers already gave it to y'all in their own words. And it's like, all I can do is give you the message. Don't shoot the messenger, man. Because all I am is a vessel of God. Whether you accept it or not, I have done my job. But you have to understand the situations that you're in when you're in it. You can't just look at it. You got to see a picture. This is why you have to be able to think geometrically. Because they don't call it a pandemic for no reason. They call it